Hi y'all, my name is Kennedy, my pronouns are she, her, and we are going to be talking about root notes. Root notes are so important for our instrument because they help facilitate that communication between us and the other instruments in the band, particularly our guitarists. If you've been in camp before, you've probably been in a situation where your guitarist, maybe even your keyboardist, comes in and says, "We learned how to play G today," and you get overwhelmed and confused because maybe you didn't learn G and you don't know what that looks like on your instrument. So we are going to break that down, go a little more in depth about tabs, chord progressions, and how we can use root notes to help create a song, and eventually one day when we can get back with our bands, how we can use these to our advantage. This is a song called Gigantic by the Pixies, and it's an excellent example of using root notes. So like in our last video with the tabs, we went over what all this means. We have our strings, our E, A, D, and G. Then we have our numbers here, which represent what fret you need to be on. 3rd fret on our E string, 5th fret on our A string, 7th fret on our A string, so on and so forth. All of these actually represent a root note. So what is a root note? A root note is that deepest note of a chord, which we usually end up playing as bassists, because guitarists can play chords, we can as well, but because our instrument is so deep and so loud, it can end up sounding muddy when we play more than one note at a time. While it can be done, it's pretty uncommon. Instead of playing all 6 strings on a G on guitar, we only play one note. And I've mapped out here which fret indicates which note. There's a couple different ways to play each of these, but this is the most straightforward, so we're going to go into this today. Our 3 on our E string is actually a G root note. Our A, 5th fret, is actually a D root note. Our 7th fret A string is actually an E root note. 2nd fret on the A string is a B root note. 3rd fret A string is a C root note, and 5th fret A string, once again, is a D root note. Now I know this can get a little bit confusing because we have the names of the strings as well as the names of the root notes, and they can intersect, but they are different. If you've played bass before or even guitar, you're familiar with when we see a 0 or an O on our strings, it represents open. And that means that we just play the note with no fingers on our fretboard. This is an E note, the same way this is an E note. So they sound a little bit different, just a teensy bit, but they're both E's. The same way that this open A is the same as this A. And our D is the same as this. And lastly, our G so you can hear specifically in the G where this is clearly lower than this. They're both G's. So a couple different options here. We're going to try and work on this one today. We're going to try to play our root notes slowly here until we have the main riff of the song. So once again, we start on the 3rd fret E string for our G root note. G. Then we move up a string to our A string, to our 5th fret, D. Then we move up another 2 frets to our 7th fret, staying on the A string, and it's E. Then we go back down to the 2nd fret on the A string, B, B. Up 1 fret to the 3rd fret, to our 5th fret, but on the A string, D, play Gigantic by the Pixies, broken down with root notes.